So that cleave from Tidebringer is going to be blocked by the Resonant Pulse. You can melt the Pulse quick, but once you hit like a level 3 Resonant Pulse, it does get a little easier to manage. Dougie just not stopping
Yeah.
with the artwork.
No, he's got a great name, John. He went, so now you're John Ecstatic, which you did look very static just then. I do appreciate that, Dougie. Thank you for that. This is why we pay Dougie the big bucks. This is why he's the lead SEA admin, because he sits there coming up with the jokes for us, and we just spout them out. So there you go, John. There's your fourth name now, John Ecstatic. That's also there. Execration, fourth pickup now with the Marana.
Oh, I like this lineup from Execration though, Mike. Going back to the topic, like they've got double Roar with a Soulbind and Grimstroke. They don't have the best setup for Arrow. I guess Remnant's there from Void Spirits. You can run with that. And it's looking pretty good for Execration. At least a faster pace coming out with Beastmaster and with a Void Spirit. They could go with a fast-paced core on the safe lane, help them melt towers. Terrorblade could be really good. There is some decent enough damage coming through from Polaris to kind of handle that, and I think they might still have an issue in terms of scouting out the Bane. They could just be very patient with a Hawk, look for the grip, play with the Arrow and the Marana instead, and line up, get a good angle to stop that grip from coming through. So there are options for Execration to break that off. For Polaris, because they've revealed Undying Bane, they might be thinking twice about what to take next. It should be our off lane. There is always the off chance that Natsumi takes Undying. Again, I believe it was Natsumi who ran to pause one Undying at some point. But I don't think it's something we've seen a lot of players dip into once more. So it should just be our CML hero, as we have seen him enjoy that to a great extent. I think he's played almost every single game we've watched him on ourselves with Undying. So he loves the hero. I can't fault him. I love Undying as well, but as a Pause 5 player, Pause 5 Undying kind of grates on me. It gets kind of samey. So CML has that mental fortitude that I don't. Still, we see the Natsumi PA come through. And that is a Natsumi special. And that's something we know Polaris loves to run. In fact, they ban out Magnus, which I feel like when you're against Polaris, when you remember a droid, you don't want to give them Mag PA because they love that combination.
No, certainly not. I mean, we all know about that. It's like TNC with Earthshaker Morph, right? Like, you just know you don't want to give those guys that kind of combination. And, well, for sure, Polaris, I mean, I'm sure they'll still be just fine without the Magnus, but you'd love to have it. Still, I mean, Execration, going back to their own draft, this Beastmaster is more like the Execration I'm used to seeing, right? Like, we're kind of used to these more pushy lineups from Execration, I want to say, and I suppose the PA is a decent way of kind of countering out the Beastmaster in the laning phase, because you've got that natural evasion, so you don't tend to take as much damage, and of course you can just snipe CS from a range. Still, final pickups, John. I couldn't help but notice you were smirking. The corner of your lips meeting again. What is it, John? What have you seen?
I was taking a look at my video, and chat got caught off. Some guy said, "It's scary, turn it off." You know, it's terrifying. I was just imagining a situation where when my video distorts, my audio distorts as well. Can you imagine that? That would be messed up. I'm glad that doesn't happen. That would be comedic gold as Execration take the Slark. So Slark versus PA. It's been a long time since we've seen that back and forth. I think as a back and forth, it's a strange one. I guess Slark can build Silver Edge, so you will break the PA, and we've seen that issue for PA. She doesn't have an invulnerability state. It's like a Jug matchup, where Slark, he's got that Dark Ascension. He can just dip into that, be invulnerable, get damage off, get the break on the PA, and just hammer in. PA doesn't have that, and once the evasion's gone, PA's forward presence is also gone. So it becomes really tough for Natsumi to maintain that. It's a timing issue. I think the PA does come online slightly faster because of the crits and the natural damage she does deal. You have to play to that power spike. Like, I don't think you want this game dragging past 35, maybe 40 at the latest, and then it becomes a struggle for the PA against Slark. The Slark can and will more than likely take control there.
Yeah, certainly so. Polaris, though, final pickup now. They appear to be lacking an offlane. Could be an offlane conquer still if they wanted to go down that route, but doubtful. 5 seconds. Oh, all right. Offlane Elder Titan, perhaps, is what we're looking at. I mean, the thing is, even with the nerfs to Elder Titan, Astral Spirit still does max damage as it used to at level 4 of Astral Spirit. So you basically still run core Elder Titan the exact same way. hasn't really changed. Nico will go ahead and pick it up. In fact, I never realized that that cosmetic arm actually gives a thumbs up once you do pick up the hero, so that's pretty cool. I know the viewers couldn't see it, but that was the first time I've noticed that. Mac is going to be on the Kunkka, Natsumi on the PA, so pretty standard. Do you like the offlane Order Titan, John? Do you think it's a good pickup here against Execration?
I think it's a good pick in the sense that it plays at a tempo that I think Polaris wants to do, and it kind of counteracts the beast army from Tino. So to a certain extent, you do get more creeps to send your spirit out to, and that does kind of help you in terms of getting more damage out. I think for Polaris, this is an all-in to playing a bit faster. So that 35 to 40 minute window, I think, is where you'd really want to see them end the game before that point. If it goes past, the scaling does disappear. Like, you could argue Elder Titan's damage does scale, and it does, but it becomes increasingly difficult to kind of land at. Like, your presence disappears when BKBs are up. It becomes easier for Execration to run around with do what they want. They've got BKB piercing spells in the Roar. On the Beastmaster, there's no Dispel on hand here from Polaris, so it's going to be a bit awkward for them once the Roar does start to fly through, and that does put Polaris on a bit of a timer here.
See how it goes. Game number 1 between Polaris Esports and, of course, Execration set to get underway.
Oh, that's very nice. This makes it all
Very excited to see it. Oh, misclick.
Oh.
Very excited to see it. You didn't see that, John. Why are you saying it like you're surprised?
But I'm surprised that you were surprised. That's all.
Oh, good luck, brother, is there from Tino. Don't forget, I suppose. Can you translate? Are they still
Yeah.
speaking Filipino?
Oh yeah. Boomy's like, "Who's your brother here?" TML's like, "Good luck," in a polite manner. Boomy's asking, "Is it Nico?" DZ's like, "Yuck." Nico's like, "You can see it in their face." So Nico and TML are brothers apparently. And Boomy's like, "Don't allow this. You guys, you guys don't look alike. You're better looking than that."
So who's getting insulted then? Someone's
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
ugly.
Step lively now. Your admiral is
Oh,
on
BTS.
board.
Well,
BDC?
BDC gets a tip.
He's
for some
not
reason.
happy.
There you go.
He's not happy about that. What's Nico got to say, John? What was the tip?
Oh, he's saying he's good. He's saying he's really good. Boomy's going on. They're saying that there's a lot being said about BDZ on their side. They're yanking his chain a lot. And he's like, "Yeah, it's fine." And Nico's like, "They're doing the same thing anyway." And BDZ told him to they ripped up his diary.
What?
Natsu's like, did they read it, BDZ? Did you read it, BDZ? And the Boom's like, "Read it." No.
Oh, goodness me. Who even owns a diary in 2021?
Online diaries, I guess. They're still going. How are they still going? BDZ's like, "Just say it. It's been a while, Nico. It's all torn up to him."
Dear diary.
He's just oh, God help us. You love it. You
All
love
right, boys, you got to start playing the game now. Enough talking, ladies and gentlemen. We got to get to work now. Tino, you'll have the last words here as CML's going to get aggressive at this top lane. We may as well, we'll talk about the top lane while we're here, John. The CML is taking a substantial amount of damage, but CML and Natsumi against BDZ. Tino, seems like a pretty aggressive lane here from Execration. Do you favor them in this top lane? Do you think the Polaris might have the advantage? What's going on?
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier for Execration to take control there. Like, you can go for the board build. You don't have to worry about that being taken away by an Enter Chen. You don't have to worry about a CM just melting your boar. And that just leads to stronger laning presence for Tino. CML is going to have to watch himself. Already dropping low. It's hard to land the... Oh, I'd say it's hard, but it lands onto CML. Good damage coming through. If they just decide to apply more pressure, CML could be gone. He's got the salve, forced to pop it on himself. So now Natsumi's going to be missing that flash regen. And it's a hard lane for the Bane, as you are seeing. The PA can still stand back, play with Dagger. Not the ideal situation, but that is an advantage this hero has in unfavorable matchups.
Okay. In the mid lane, of course, you've got Mac against Bob, so the Kunkka vs Void Spirit matchup. We kind of went over it last time around, and it was a pretty even affair between the two. In fact, hold that thought, because top lane Tino, he's going to be in a bit of trouble right now as he does get daggered down. In the meantime, CML may drop, but no, never mind. He's fine. On the other side of the map, It looks like they have lost the core Elder Titan. Boomy still trying to get aggressive here on the Undying, but looks like a bot is going to be just fine to back himself out.
Yeah, and a bot's just building up in that CS. Been a slow lane for him up against that Elder Titan, though, 3-1 in comparison to our PA at 9-4. Does mean that, you know, you're getting a bit more from Polaris there despite dropping Nico, and I think you don't mind that at all. Boomy's doing a good job, just constantly getting the Ks. Slark is not a high-strength hero, so that HP just dwindles more and more, and it becomes really easy for Nico to run up, use the Astral Spirit, get some hits off. He even has Natural Order already up and running. So the armor reduction is going to be big on a Slark, and it's not going to feel good trading hits there. Even the resist reduction is going to be nice as well down the line. So have to watch that spacing, and even sacrificing your offlaner like that isn't too bad. As long as the bot's kept down, you're pretty happy. But you have given an Agi stack away, so a bot's not feeling going to feel that pain too much. He knows what he's getting here.
Yeah, absolutely. Back to the mid lane. Mac and Bob still going at it. Bob once again finds himself ahead in terms of CS. Mac a little bit behind. Pretty much the exact same thing that happened last game. It's a matter of who kind of outplays each other this time around. Because you do have BDZ on that Mirana, so we can almost expect him to make those rotations into the mid to try and pick off Mac. I suppose I could say the same thing about our Bane on Dying, but they're not quite as effective as, say, a Mirana rotation.
Yeah, it's certainly a bit more explosive for Execration to look for those opportunities. And again, they've got Remnant set up, so can be relatively easy to get that kill. Still, Mac gets a nice D-ward off with his sniper down the low ground. He's going to be able to maintain control on the runes a lot better, and that is the important back and forth. We are seeing Mac have a better time here. Already has the bottle. Bob also has his bottle, but in comparison to last series we saw, at least the Kunkka can play this lane a bit better.
Mac. He's going to be alright. Bot lane, a bit of a chase onto Ra to boot, but he'll be just fine. Paltino top lane, again, very, very low on this Beastmaster. The BDZ is going to sneak up on the back from Natsumi. He's taking a fair bit of damage here with the right clicks and the board damage. In fact, he might be in trouble. He'll blink strike towards Tino, but Tino had the stick charges available. Blurs out, Nightmare dodge on the arrow, CML. Oh, you don't get to see that every day, John. What a nightmare from CML.
He plays it so well. Just that 1 second invulnerability is so nice, and because it was melee, it was a huge range for the arrow to just completely whiff. And Natsumi does manage to clean up Tino once more, building up on Polaris' side. Again, a much better time for our PA in comparison to the Slark. That's not good news for Execration, as in the port-to-core matchup, the PA is a lot stronger early. Natsumi is going back for that slower build into the battlefield, but that is standard for PAs. And because of the strong start, it's not going to take too long. Natsumi's going to have a good time. 2 levels ahead of Tino. No threat of Roar coming out anytime soon, and that just cuts off in the power spike of our Beastmaster.
It does. Arrow, gonna land this time. Just gonna chip away at Natsumi. Not too much damage. Burning through the region very slowly here between CML and Natsumi. Meanwhile, bottom lane. In fact, never mind that. I'm wondering where Bob's gone. He is going to rotate down to the bot lane at that level 6 mark, so a bit earlier than expected. Problem is Polaris, they seem to have read this movement, and they do back off at the exact right time. So Bob, he's still going to have a look around, see if he can find a target he can go after. I suppose you could try after Boomy, but he still seems to know something's wrong here. He'll go in for the double bounties, and you know what? In some way, John, you have to call that work. I mean, that's a double bounty for the whole team.
Yeah, he secures it. You're not going to be too mad about it. You only lose the support on that rotation. An Undying doesn't matter too much at this point, and you kind of free up the lane for Mac. Like, Mac had, like, what, a half a minute of him just taking control, getting CS, building up, and that Kunkka is starting to pull slightly more ahead. So you are overall happy with the results. You don't lose your Elder Titan as well, and you kind of hold out. So far, a good start for Polaris, but very even on paper. Execration not too far behind with the 2 pickoffs they have. I still just worry about the Slark. I think when a bot has this kind of slow start, he could be in danger.
Speaking of the devil bot, just backing off away from this Elder Titan as Nico. Just hits like a truck right now with this Astral Spirit buff. But he's going to try and come back for the tombstone, but there's no chance they're going to give it away. Maybe he can get away with it now, as RR has joined, and he does indeed. Plus 125, but it does go the way of the crypt stroke, so you don't exactly give it to the person you really wanted it to go to.
It's a nice golden injection for RR. I think Abbat's going to be disappointed that he didn't get that, but there was always the risk of denying it, so at the least someone picks it up. Still, you can see the emphasis on this bot lane. They just want to keep Abbat in check, whereas our PA is just left alone. Like, Tino's given up on the lane, he's playing in the jungle, which Beastmaster can do, and he is fairly close to the helm of the Dawn, but that's not what you want to see early on.
Eighth remnant off the mark there from Bob. TML, he should still go down, but he is buying himself some time to get the brain sap off, and now Mac's going to show up. Bob, he's out of spells, he's out of mana, and it looks like he's out of life as well. He's going to try and just run away with this 8th remnant. It might be enough, but no, the pig out. Look at the speed. In from Mac, onto Bob. Natsumi's going to join to boot. They really want this kill. 5 more seconds for an astral step. He'll dissimulate. Now he's out of mana, and Natsumi will take his 3rd kill of the game. Happy days for the PA.
Oh man, it's such a timely rotation from Natsumi. He does leave his lane a bit, but it doesn't matter too much. He gets a kill. He's still building up. Tino does show up once more, but Natsumi's starting to hit very hard now.
Well, bot lane, at the very least, they do set up onto Nico. So Bart able to pick up another bit of agility for himself and gets himself a nice kill. See, Nico still very lane dominant on the Elder Titan, but against 3 heroes, he can't really do too much. In the meantime, BDZ going to have a scout around for some stacks being made, but he's going to get X-Torrent back, and Mac will happily take the kill with the Tidebringer hit.
Yeah, it's again, not the biggest pickup, trading these support kills, but you are still happy for Mac building up on that Kunkka quite fast. He is going for the Orchid build, so he wants some additional control out. Pinned down, CML again caught out by Bob though.
Nice Nightmare dodge again from CML. Avoiding the dissimulate damage, but can he get himself out? It's not looking too great for him. Bob, this time around, will be able to secure the kill. But you've kind of got a whiff of what's going to happen this game. CML, he's pretty much been on point every single time with the Nightmares. It's now Bob. Torrent back. Should still be okay. There was no boat follow-up. Will be left on very low HP. In fact, Boomy's going to show up now. RR is around. Smoke is going to be there from Execration. Where are they headed? Up top, it seems. Natsumi, he'd be a great target if they could find it. They'll make their way over. Blur is available, but should be easily broken as Bob has the step charges he needs. Natsumi going to bounce one way. Aether going to catch him, though. The arrow is going to land. None of the neutral creeps actually block it off. And the tip comes out from Bob.
Oh yeah, these guys are laying it on each other. You know, they've been going from chat. All friends, of course, but you gotta make fun of your friends as Tino gets caught up.
He does. Do ensnare up Mac, it won't matter. They were trying to go for the arrow as well, but I believe it was blocked by a creep, so Mac getting a little bit lucky there. That'll make it a 5-5 now. 1k net worth lead to the way of Polaris. All things being said and done, John, their 2 cores, their mid and safe lane, are still top of the net worth board. So, you know, kills or not, Execration's still just a tad behind in this game 1.
Yeah, I mean, you say they're a tad bit ahead. Natsumi's going to have a Battle Fury by 12 minutes in, 12 and a half to 13. So that's a real quick Battle Fury with the power treads. It's not just a brown boots rush or no boots rush. And there is some intermediate item as well, and that's just such fast build-up. Compare that to Slark, still saving up for the Echo Saber. The Echo Saber won't enable your Slark to farm as well. I mean, he can still clear out camps with Dark Pact, but it's not going to be as quick as a PA with a B Fury up. I think that's where the difference starts to show, right? Like, it's that power spike. The PA has a stronger early game, stronger presence, faster farm rate, and as long as Polaris can kind of play around that early spike, they can get a lot more off the map at this point.
Mac could be in trouble. Moonlight Shadow committed. Tino would love to go in for a nice easy roar. We'll be able to connect, but Boomy is going to show up as well. Arrow is going to be taken. Can they blow up the Kunkka? Yeah, they definitely can. Boomy. He could do nothing to help. Nightmare to try and save Boomy, but he should go down. He at least gets the tombstone off in time, and now Natsumi, he's going to jump in. Tino, he'll be the first one to drop on Execration. Backing on Bob. Dissimulate will be there. Bob, though, not out of danger, but a Bud going to keep him safe by taking down the PA. Eventually, Bob does end up dropping, but it's worth all the kills they're going to get. As Execration completely team-wiped the side of Polaris.
It's a great fight from Execration. Polaris, they streamed in 1-by-1. They TP'd 1-by-1 into that fight, and they just couldn't connect in the right way. A really strong target to go for. Going for that Kunkka first takes out the boat, ensures that the durability is not flying through, takes out a lot of the control and early damage that Polaris has. So they just found an opening, ripped right through. And Polaris has to be cautious. Like, Natsumi had such a good start, that's going to stall the Battle Fury for a little bit longer here. Probably looking at 13.5 minutes now instead of the 12.5 to 13 because of that diversion. And those kinds of small timings do make a difference. Those are camps the PA's not clearing out fast enough, stacks that she's not building for herself, and that does hurt the efficiency of the hero. So, good showing from the side of Execration. They are invading that top jungle as well. And Abad does have the Echo Saber up. He is going for the Shadow Blade into Silver Edge next. And once you've got that break again, the PA becomes very easy to manage. Natsumi still has to farm for BKB and Deso down the line, and that's still going to take more time here.
Certainly so. Tino getting ever so close now to that Helm of the Overlord and the Beastmaster. Bot lane, who have they got? Oh, it's going to be Bob again. Max got an Orchid up on this Kunkka already. And Bob, he'll get the tip back from Natsumi. Is now mid lane. They're going to try and rotate and defend this mid-tier 1 tower. CML, he's going to cop an arrow straight off the bat, so he's gone. Can they defend this? Tino. Torrent is going to be there, but they get the Soulbind off. They're going to try and save, but the Earth Splitter coming right in from Nico. That'll mean Tino's gone. Bart going to try and back. In fact, he'll go back to the team fight, but eventually we'll have to Shadow Dance and just try to run. Now the Briefcase Man, the Stapler, is coming out, and Bart is going to go down as well. Not great news for Execration.
Definitely not. They tried to force the issue on mid. They underestimate the TP rotation coming from Polaris, and they commit a lot to kill off the Bane. CML's very happy distracting the enemy side, and Bob?
It'll be okay. Blob, he's been playing on the edge here. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. At least for now it hasn't been, but see what it can get done. There's that tier 1 mid tower though, that's going to make life a little bit harder for Execration. Very valuable tower to lose this early on. Polaris now will just take over that Radiant jungle, as is to be expected. It's one thing you never really want to see when you've got a Beastmaster in your team, right? Like, you're the one who wants to get that mid-tier 1 tower first. And that is not really the case here. However, in the meantime, they might catch Natsumi, but the Aether Remnant does not connect. Maybe they can still find him, but not quite. He's just going to walk out of there. Bob, he cannot finish off the kill. And it's all going back to that Aether Remnant not connecting. In fact, now Max come in. It's like a nice, easy Grimstroke kill for himself. Orchid damage is not going to be enough, though. RR is going to try to go for a run. That is a big melee hit from Max. Just kind of completely avoids the arrow, but just out kind of meleeing him. Now Bob's on the run.
No steps left. X is on cooldown, so they're not going to be able to fully commit. And Polaris, again, just get out scotch-free. They don't lose their PA. The farm is still flowing through. And they manage to just keep going. Execration are still clumped up top. They still have a roar, but I don't think they can really maintain its position as they are losing out in farming area. Polaris is still clearing out efficiently. A bot is just playing in his own jungle. You can see that farming difference now here, Mike. 8,200 for Natsumi, 7,500 for a bot. You just don't go as fast as a PA. I think that's something they have to remember. They have to hit this item spike quick, kind of try and shut down Natsumi, because left unchecked, the PA will just get everything on the map quite fast.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Abad, he's trying to work towards that silver edge so he can really get involved with his team, but still a while off that. If you have the Shadow Blade, you can at least try to get active, and he does have it now. So we might see him getting involved with his team. You don't want to drop the momentum here. If you are Execration, you still have this kind of lineup that wants to snowball and just take over the map. In the meantime, they are going to lose that bottom tier 1 tower to Boomy, of all people. A real defense to come out. Seems like Polaris are very well aware that Execration are in that dire jungle. What is it, John? What have you seen this time?
I just found it really funny. You know, one camp being cleared up on the high ground, the other camp was cleared on the low ground from 2 different teams. No one saw each other. We're just building up. I was surprised Tideburner didn't even knock Tino there. I felt like that little tickle could have given some info to jump onto the lower ground, but they don't find the opportunity. They do pop the Moonlight, but again, not finding anyone. Good wards here from Polaris to watch their top jungle as they keep stalling out for Natsumi to hit the BKB timing. It's almost up. One Mitchell Hammer up. Skips the Desolator for now. Just going for the spell immunity to stand in front. When you take a look at Boomy, Mike, we used to talk about Boomy being a really greedy support, right? He is rushing Ags on his pause for Undying. So he's going for the increased strength steal very early on. And he's just slowly building up. This is classic Boomy, right? He loves Shaker, loves magic support, just going greedy.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, the Slark wants to take stats away. You're just going to take them right back as the Undying. 2 can play at that game, Boomy. The 200 IQ thinking here from our Undying. See if it works out for him. Though I do think the Ags on Undying is super underrated. Like 10 strength every time on a 4-second cooldown. You get 2 or 3 of those off in a team fight. That is a ridiculous amount of HP you're removing.
Yeah, it really is. Like, 10 strength plus the 165 damage, so it's actually a little bit more. And you have to remember that it's back to EHP scaling, like a bit of a math lesson. So as armor goes up, at some point it might be more efficient to actually take away strength, because you're taking away, you know, just HP and decreasing the effectiveness of each point of armor because there's less HP to rip through. So it's just one way of counteracting that. And nothing else kind of replicates that outside of Undying and Slark, surprisingly, although Tino...
Yeah, with all due respect, John, that wasn't really much of a math lesson. Tino gets caught out, Beastmaster will go down. Arrow does land, though. Maybe they can capitalize here on the Kunkka. It's a long arrow duration. Soulbind will be there. They do burst down Matt, but they're going to lose RR in response. CML, meanwhile, gets the Fiend's Grip off. They've got Bob. There's no way to cancel it. Oh, they've got no way to cancel the Fiend's Grip apart. He's going to try and fight, but now the Earth Splitter into the Echo Stomp is there, and look at him just melt.
Something in your eye?
Natsumi on a triple kill. And it's a 4-for-1 trade, certainly favorable for the side of Polaris.
And it's off the snap decision of Natsumi, right? He was queuing up BKB, he ended up finishing the Desu first. So he figured, alright, you know, I think I can actually get away without spell immunity here. Just run in, get the damage off, and the minus armor plus the presence of the ET just makes that a really strong process, right? Like, you remove the base armor, so you drag them very close to 0, and you get the Desolator on top of it. They're pretty much at 0. So efficiency is through the roof for the damage output of that PA. And they're not done, BDZ.
Oh, arrows off the mark. CML trying to be a little bit cheeky there with the Shadow Amulet, but there was a Sentry Ward placed down by BDZ, but now Mac's going to show up. Back in on the Mirana with that Orchid. It's not hard to burst them down. That's a nice setup here by Polaris, and you know, CML for a Mirana, pretty good to me. On the northern side of the map, Nico's setting up here onto the Beastmaster now, and Tino. He's stuck there for a while. Try to go for a run, but Natsumi's going to be there to follow up. He'll commit the Roar. He'll keep trying to run, and it looks like he might just make it. But in the meantime, RR's been caught out. In fact, never mind. Nico still finds the Tino kill as well. And look at this. Look who they've got. It's going to be Bob. Dissimulate. He's going to try and get himself to the low ground. He commits all his step charges to get on top of the cliff.
Step lively now.
They don't have the vision on that cliff. The Polaris, they'll go for a Roshan now.
It's going to be a fast Roshan with the damage you have on Natsumi once he does show up. And for Execration, it's a hard fight. They don't have Roar. That's their big basic teamfight control. You can't scout out with the arrow. There's not much he can do. Maybe if Bob wants to be cheeky, he can try to step in, but he's a bit too far for that. So first Roshan going the way of Polaris. Natsumi with 2 lives. His BKB is almost done on top of that. Like, he's about, what, 400 gold away? So he's going to have BKB on top of that Desolator. You are not going to have the control for the PA.
Look at this, John. CML.
Radiant are
Top lane. He's gonna get a Nightmare into a Fiend's Grip here, I think. Oh, Bob, he wasn't watching either. Oh, they're gonna try and take the Nightmare off with a dominated creep, but the Fiend's Grip is there. Mac, he's gonna throw the boat out. Where's the X, the Orchid?
Oh,
It might be enough,
what?
but no X.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Eh?
attack.
Mac just kind of pressed all the buttons, hoping for the best, apparently.
Lively now. Your
You gotta
admiral
X
is on
him,
board.
Mac. Not good enough to just silence him.
Normally.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity. I guess they're sending warning shots down mid to a bot.
Yeah. Nico, well, he's got the axe, John. Hey, yeah, you don't want to fight this guy right now. He's a pretty strong Elder Titan. Arrow, gonna at least hit Burmy, but look at this. The Splitter's coming out, but he's forced to pounce away. In the meantime, Natsumi takes care of RR, and there goes BDC. And now there's actually a Gleipnir up on somebody. Unless I'm seeing things. Tino, you're targeted. We'll go down. What was the lightning I just saw flying across the screen, John?
I'm not sure. Was it a dominated
Radiant's
creep,
middle
perhaps?
tower is under
I'm not
attack.
sure what dominated creep would have that as
Radiant
well. Like,
structures are
I don't think a
fortified.
harpy was picked up,
Dire's
so I
structures are
can't comment.
fortified.
I'm actually not sure what that was. Bot though.
Yeah, Nightmare. CML again.
Oh,
Look at this.
CML.
Shadow amulet usage. This is how you use it, ladies and gentlemen.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Slowly but surely, CML closed the gap. It's almost like you'd rather have David Attenborough commentating over this kind of game with CML's gameplay, John. Just the way he prowls on his enemy.
Oh, for sure.
Not going to get it, though. The Slark is going to escape.
Yeah, if they force him out a bit earlier than he'd want, I think he'd want to clear out the jungle and get some more farm going. Nico just in front of everyone right now.
Meanwhile, Natsumi just deletes RR. I didn't see it, but I believe that was a one-hit from our PA. You're about at that point now with the battle-free Deso
Radiant's
up.
top tower
Kind
is
of hard not to get one hit as a Grimstroke. And so Polaris, I mean, with the Aegis still up, they're just so confident. There's just no reason to slow down. They'll just keep moving across the map and just killing people. I mean, because why not?
Yeah, it just plays into that timing, right? Like, Polaris have to play this fast, because towards the late game, if the Slark does manage to bounce back, it will have that invulnerability state with Shadow Dance. So, you know, you kind of do have to play while you're strong, and Polaris are certainly doing that. They've got the Basher up for Natsumi, and that's just more control. Basher on
Dire's
Dagger.
middle tower is
It's
under
always
attack.
hilarious and unfortunate for the recipient. So you're going to have to deal with that next. There are some tools here on Execration. BKB for a bot means he can stand forward, but that just means he's going to be the sole grip target next with Fiend's Grip.
Bob. Natsumi. Not going to jump Bob. Instead, he's onto Tino. Stun is going to be there, but Max got the X back into the torrent. Tino, he is not having a very good game. It's a mile away from the Magnus game we saw Tino on. I'll tell you that, John.
It's a rough game, right? Like, he hits his Dominator timing, but we're not seeing the roars come true. We're not seeing the double roars as well outside of the early game. No blink up yet in Beastmaster, so it's hard for him to maintain that presence. And he just gets chipped away in RR.
Yeah, there you go, John.
Okay.
Yeah, shove that in your pipe and smoke it, John. Natsumi. It's not pretty, John, for a +5 playing against the PA like this. Natsumi currently about 6k net worth ahead of the opposing position one. And that means that you're probably just going to get deleted if he makes the jump. I mean, and now you've got the Axe Pop
Oh
movie,
my
so
god.
each time he hits a hero, he is taking 200 HP away. Jump in, BDZ, not going to get crit. Very, very lucky, but the 8th Remnant going to catch out Natsumi. Can they kill him off? Bob, he'll cop the crit. Bart is going to keep going with the 4-star. Going to keep Natsumi alive, at least for now, but not for long. X up, Torrent, off the mark. Bob is going to be able to escape.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They'll still go after the racks, no problem. Nice torrent there from Matt, connecting on 2.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Now they jump in again. Bob, he's going to give it a crack. After the Bane, it seems like CML. He'll be fine for now as Tino gets shredded. A Butts contribute, and there goes Bob. He'll use up. He's not getting out though. Kips out for Bob. GG,
Call
that's
it.
enough.
I respect that from Execration. I think they understand that Polaris really hit their spikes well. They managed to force the fight. There's no counterplay left for Execration in defense. So they just shrug it off. They don't want to get into another long slugfest up against Polaris as we saw them play against Army Geniuses, and Polaris do keep their stride going. That keeps them at a 4-0 today in terms of games overall, coming in from the PNXBet finals. Really good luck. They're feeling fire right now. Execration, they're going 0-3 right now. Want to find a win to close out, and they have to shake the last few games off, and it takes a lot of mental fortitude to get that done. So we'll have to see if they can improve for the final game of tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Omega Esports, they went 0-4 today, and Execration, they're kind of in the same boat right now, just one game away from having to experience the exact same thing. And I've got to tell you what, John, Polaris, they might be riding that momentum after that 3-0 in a grand final. They're looking very, very solid, and 26 minutes is not a very long time to finish a game of Dota, that's for sure. Still, we are going to head to a short 10-minute break, and of course, right after that break, we're going to be back with our final game of the night between Execration and Polaris Esports. We'll see you then.